Hello and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Pattya, Pattya Channel's very own breakfast show. I'm your host, Nick Pendrell, and joining me as usual is my co-host, Mr. Dave D.
Good morning, Nick.
Nice to see you.
You're looking rather radiant today, if I must say so.
Thank you very much. I'd say the same about you.
Beautiful day.
And also looking radiant today is our guest, who is Andy from the Pattya Dive Centre. How you doing, Andy?
Very well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming along. So, tell us a little bit about Pattya Dive Centre.
Okay, well, Pattaya Dive Centre is a 5-star IDC centre based on the centre of Beach Road.
Right.
We've been established there for about 15 years, and we have boats going out every day. We teach a full range of PADI diving courses from beginner to instructor professional level.
Right. For those who know nothing about diving like myself, what is IDC?
It stands for Instructor Development Centre.
Okay.
PADI have different ratings for their dive centre, and 5-star IDC is one of the more prestigious ratings.
Right, right. So when anyone goes out with you, you know what you're doing, basically.
Yeah, it's a mark of quality.
not some amateurs who just take people out on the boat and throw them into the water.
Exactly.
when we say, Andy, when you say like beginners, this is guys that have never dived before, I take it. I mean, these are guys that can swim, of course, but I mean, these are guys that have never dived in the way that you can teach them, no?
True. Complete novice. You don't have to even swim to try diving, technically. Obviously, some ability in water helps with being able to relax, but no, to dive, you only have to sink, you don't have to swim.
I could probably manage that then.
So beginner, and then what is the sort of like the regime of like going from beginner to what? I mean, you know, what is the sort of path they take?
Well, the structure is basically you can begin with what's called Discover Scuba Diving, which is a 1-day introduction program. You get taught the very basics in shallow water where you're comfortable, and you make an open water dive in the afternoon, which takes you a little bit deeper. If you wanted to progress for certification, as long as you're 10 years old and have an ability to swim a short distance and be able to float, then you can enroll for open water diver certification, which is over a few days.
Okay.
And then you have another level which goes up, which is a slightly deeper rating for advanced open water. And the courses go up again then to rescue and then master. And then you can take specialty courses. It branches out in many different directions.
So beginner, is that actually done in the sea, or is that done in an environment where like a pool or something?
It can be conducted in either, but most commonly it's done in the sea.
Okay.
Because if you're on holiday and you want to try diving, you want to go and see coral, you want to see turtles, you want to see fish. So they come out on the boat, they get a nice day on the boat. You get to go spend some time at the islands and try diving at the same time. So you get a good day either way.
Sounds great, Nick.
Yeah, so even the absolute novices who've never done any diving before, you actually take them out on a full trip. It's not like you start off in a swimming pool or something.
No. In different environments, it can be done in that manner.
Right.
But no, we get an exclusive instructor with the beginner team, and we take them and we use the shallow water off a beach rather than the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And it's conducted in the exact same manner, but it's just off a beach instead.
And how many would be the maximum in a group of beginners?
Okay, well it depends on the competency of the people.
Right.
But typically, we have safety standards which we have to stay within. So the maximum I'm allowed to take is 4 students to 1 instructor.
Right.
But I may reduce that ratio if the conditions of the ocean are not perfect and ideal.
Right.
Safety first, safety second.
I can imagine with diving that's very, very important. And where do most of your clients come from? Is there one particular nationality?
No one stands out more than others. I mean, we have a broad range of clients from all over the world.
Right.
It's one of the beauties of the scuba diving family. It doesn't matter where you learn, you can always travel around. But I mean, in Pattaya right now, it changes from month to month.
Yeah.
One month we'll see a lot of Australians and Americans, then it will change. We'll see a lot of Indian and Chinese customers, then we see European customers, then we see a mixture of all. You can have a truly international, eclectic mix on the boat each day.
That's Pattya.
Yeah.
And how do you sort of cope, Andy, with the people that sort of want to run before they can walk? If you know what I mean, the guys that sort of have been there 10 minutes and they think they can do it. And how do you cope with that? I mean, you're there to sort of say, "Whoa, are you?" Yeah,
I mean, the basics of diving is you have to respect the ocean. You have to respect that it's a dangerous activity if it's not respected.
Yeah.
So anybody that is trying to progress faster, I mean, confidence and enthusiasm is great, but it has to be done in a safe way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, I encourage it, you know, and it's great, but making sure that they know where the line is, you know, there's, you know where the limit is, and we always teach to stay within the limits. It's just like when we're monitoring our air supply, you know, you only need one thing underwater, that's air. Now you get to a certain point where you have to come up, and we don't wait until you're at like 0 air, right? You know, you get to 50 bar, it's a reserve, and you end the dive. You give the up signal, and some guys just want to keep on swimming, but they have to understand that the reason we bring them up is for safety, and they respect that. Sure, they'd like to stay down for longer, but you just got to dive again. There's always another dive.
Do you have any foreign language speakers amongst your instructors?
Yeah, well, I work with Anne, who's a Thai national. She speaks both English and Thai. We also have French and German speaking instructors working around.
How many instructors do you have in total?
Currently we have 3 instructors.
Okay. And how many of your clients are complete beginners?
A lot. I mean, first-time divers, Pattaya is a holiday destination, and just like any, it attracts people for activities on things.
Well, it's
to
one
do.
of the things they want to do, isn't it, when they go on
it's,
holiday?
it's the bucket list.
Yeah,
you know, I
yeah.
want to skydive, I want to scuba dive, I want to
Bungee
bungee jump.
Yeah.
So, quite a high percentage of customers are the first-time try divers.
Right.
We have, but you can have a mixture of people at the same time because we're in such close proximity to Bangkok. Then divers which are coming to Thailand looking for Thailand's great diving, they're traveling down south. They also come around the east coast into here, and they try Pattaya and Koh Chang, and so we get a lot of certified divers that are traveling, trying different destinations as well.
Yeah.
But certainly we get a lot of first timers.
What about, sorry, Lee, what about the length of time from going from beginner to, okay, you can go out on your own and you can do your thing now? I mean, you know, what kind of length does that take?
The open water course is scheduled over 3 or 4 days, depending on the individual. It sounds like a big deal to be going out with a buddy independently, but the reality is that most people that certify as an open water diver will probably sign up to a dive trip with an operation like ourselves.
Yeah.
And within our trips, you're given full equipment. You have a professional dive master or a guide who will actually take you on your first few dives.
Yeah.
There are certain locations in the world, and they are certified to dive independently. There's certain locations where you can walk straight in off the beach after renting the gear without an instructor or dive master. But you find that comfort zones, people will tend to dive with an operation until they build the confidence. I encourage people to try it. I mean, it's free. People get into diving to explore, right?
Yeah.
So you can only explore so much when you're following somebody else's fins. The first time you buddy up with a friend and you go and you swim down the reef, and not only do you manage to come back to the boat, which is an achievement for some people in themselves, but you know, when you see something, you can choose to stay there and watch it. You can choose to move on. You don't have this inability to explore. So,
do you have a lot of clients who are basically, it's a day trip for them and they're not interested in becoming, it's just a sort of one-off to them?
Sure, but I think a lot of people surprise themselves. You get so many people say, I want to try diving. Other guys say, I don't know swimming, I want to try diving, it's just something I've always wanted to do. Can I do it?
Yeah.
Sure, come along and try it. The Discover Scuba program actually credits towards the certification. So when they watch the video and they get the briefing in the morning, we explain what they do on this day can be credited. If they choose to continue and certify, then it credits back towards it.
Right. And do you find quite a few sort of, I've caught the bug now, this is brilliant.
That's what I'm saying, they're apprehensive, some almost terrified, in fact. So almost, I want to do this, and then you can't get them up and saying, come on. You can have someone on the platform for 5 minutes.
It's what we've spoke about on other shows before, isn't it, Nick? It's just that first step, it's that fear factor, it's that, you know, the unknown.
That's a choice of words. You say the first step because you're standing on the back of the boat and you have to step off the boat in the scuba gear. And you know, sometimes their knees are shaking and
you can imagine.
They don't want to enter the water, but then once they're in the water and they learn to relax, 5 minutes later you feel great. I mean,
I think relax is the key word.
It's crucial to it because with the first timers, they don't know what to expect, and there's nothing like breathing underwater. There's nothing I can say, oh, well, it's like doing this, or have you done that before? It's like, no, there's nothing. So I focus a lot on just calming people down and telling them to simply breathe. You know, from when we're babies, we're taught to inherently hold our breath the second we go underwater.
Yeah.
So it's important that I make sure people don't do that. One of the golden rules of scuba is not to actually hold your breath because you're breathing pressurized air.
Sure.
So when they actually go underwater for the first time, getting them to relax is the most important part. Otherwise, they'll want to come back up, and I have to say to them, look, just trust me, keep the equipment in position and just breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
Once they get through the initial 10 seconds, because like I was saying about being small, you kind of learn that if you're underwater for more than 20 or 30 seconds, there may be a serious problem going on.
Sure.
But then your mind starts to learn that actually you can breathe and you're not going to die, and it also becomes exhilarating then. It's it's exciting.
We've talked quite a lot about beginners, but obviously you get some advanced divers who don't need the instruction. They just want to enjoy all of the diving options in Pattaya. So what do you do for the ones who just say,
okay,
I want to go diving, know how to do it, just take me on a good day's dive? Well,
okay, well, it depends on their certification level. If they're an open water diver, then they generally will dive a coral reef. There's multiple islands. We've got boats. We've got 2 boats actually. One is based in Pattaya, and one is based just down the coast in Samesan, the small fishing village by Satahip.
right.
And there's coral sites and there are shipwreck dives in both of these locations. And depending on the certification and experience level, they can go down, and during the reef dives, they'll see different types of hard and soft coral. There's a lot of hawksbill sea turtles in Pattaya, pufferfish. A few months ago, we even had dolphins at Kosak, which was
sight.
well, yeah, because we have all the dolphins all over town, right? You see all the ornaments of dolphins around. And for the first few years I was here, I was like, I've never seen a dolphin. And then one day I'm swimming up off the reef, and these 2 enormous grey shadows come flying past me, and you can imagine what my first reaction was.
Jaws music playing in your head.
And I spat my regulator out, and then it turned around and came back. It's like, shut off. I was like,
they exist.
The
mythical
Well, that's the
dolphins
days you
of
live for
Pattaya.
as well, of course.
that's it. I mean, it's great because, you know, I've got thousands of divers at this dive site, and then all of a sudden to see that, it shows how diverse it can be, even for existing divers who have been here or dove in other places. There's always that chance of an opportunity like that that you'll never forget.
Just a quick one from me before we have to say goodbye on that.
Okay.
How long can you get out of one tank? You know, like, it's that tank that you have on your back. I mean, how long can you actually stay down?
It all depends on how fast you breathe and how deep you go.
Okay.
On average, you can dive up for an hour, no problem, on most dive sites within a reasonable depth range.
It's a long time.
If it's a deeper dive, then 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
But you don't only have the air to consider, because our bodies take in nitrogen, and we have to stay within a safe limit of nitrogen, also, which is covered in the training. So sometimes you can still have air remaining, especially on a deeper dive, but you have to surface because the nitrogen level has reached its maximum safe level.
Give us some idea of costs. If I was to spend a day with you, didn't know anything, what's it going to cost me? Okay,
Discover Scuba program, which is the 1-day 2-dive try program, includes full equipment, lunch, and everything you need, pick up, and that's 4,000 baht.
Okay.
The open water course, which is based over 3 or 4 days, is 14,000 baht, plus the certification fee and the manual, depending on how you choose to do your study, because you can choose like an e-learning online, you can choose an e-book, you can choose a paper book, and they have different prices, so depending on what you chose.
So it's not that expensive, is it? It's pretty inexpensive, really, and for what you're achieving, I think it's
great. It's going to be an unforgettable experience if you never dived before. So how can people get in contact with you? Do you have a website? Yeah,
we have a website at divecenterpattaya.com.
Divecenterpattaya.com.
And our Facebook page is exactly
Dive Center Pattaya.
Actually, no,
it's not.
Close.
I was going to say it's exactly the same as it has the name, but actually it's facebook.com/ Pattaya Dive Centre.
Yeah, yeah. With the but if you search
The other way
on
around,
Facebook, you'll
yeah.
find. And your retail premises are at
They're just in between Soi 10 and 11 on the Pattaya Beach Road.
right
Right on the
okay.
beachfront, so-
Tip Plaza.
Tip Plaza, yeah,
That's
exactly.
great.
Interesting, mate.
So if you want to head out diving, that's where to go. Check out the website, check out the shop, go diving. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Thanks, Simon.
Nice to meet you.